Hey, welcome to the Rig and Farm YouTube channel. I just arrived at our property, and the very first thing I noticed was that our driveway looks like garbage. We got a little bit of rain yesterday, and it's washed away so much. The construction guy had come up a couple weeks ago. He said gravel driveways require maintenance. I understand that, but I also understand that you shouldn't have to maintain them every single time it rains because it looks like complete garbage afterwards. Sometimes you have to leave in your car to go to work or go to the store, and you don't want to have to get your tractor out and fix the driveway before you can leave without getting your car stuck in the mud. There's nothing I can do about it right now, so I'm just going to continue with what I came up to do. I have a few things on my agenda today. First thing I'm going to do is go up to the brush pile that we attempted to burn last week and use the grapple on the tractor to move anything that didn't get burned out of the way and kind of see how much ash is left over. I also need to measure exactly how far away this one tree stump is from another tree stump to see exactly how much space we have for our garden beds. Ideally, we want to have about 50 feet of garden space. We were thinking 40, but really that extra 10 feet is going to be a really big difference. If I need to get that tree stump out of there, I'm going to throw the stump bucket on the tractor and get started on that. Even if we have just barely 50 feet, I'll probably go ahead and remove it anyway because I'm up here, why not? I brought my drill up so I can finish installing the canopy on the tractor. Hopefully that goes pretty easily and I don't run into any problems. We're supposed to be getting our soil delivery tomorrow, so I need to prep the area and make it ready for that. It would be amazing if Ashley could be here tomorrow when we get that delivery, but unfortunately she has to work. It's a bit of a two-person job because what we need to do is we need to use the tractor to get the bucket and scoop up a big thing of dirt, go up to where we're gonna start our garden bed and start driving backwards and have the other person use like a rake or a shovel or something like that and kind of get the dirt out of the bucket and get it lined up so we have a nice straight garden bed and I'm not just like throwing dirt everywhere. Not that there's anything wrong with putting soil where we're not gonna have a garden bed, but it's not cost effective to put that soil that we're paying money for in an area where we're not gonna plant. I'm not sure exactly what I'll do tomorrow, if I will just try to dump it or if I'll put it in piles and then we can kind of smooth that out later. What I do know is I don't want to leave all that soil in a pile at the front of the property because if it does rain, then it'll start to leach all of those nutrients into the ground where we're not going to be putting our garden. We'll want nutrients in the ground there anyway because we're going to want to grow grass and other things, but we're paying all this money right now so we can get the garden started because that is the priority right now. I'm sure the majority of my day is going to be spent up in that garden area, and I don't have a whole lot of time, as usual, because we have children, so I'm going to go ahead and put the camera down and get started. The last time I was up here, I took the ballast box off of the quick hitch, just to see if I could, and I need to get it back on the tractor, so I'm going to see how easy it is to pick it up while it's sitting like this on this stump where it's not super level. Wish me luck! I did get it on there eventually. I ended up having to take one of these rocks that I had in the box and put it next to the stump to give it a little more stability so it didn't rock back and forth. Once it was on a flat surface and was straight, it actually wasn't too bad. The top link didn't slide all the way into the hook, so I got out of the tractor and pushed that and it fell right into place. Not ideal, but it got the job done. Now I need to get my gloves on and lowered the box and get all these rocks in there so I have some nice weight on the back of the tractor before I start going around and moving stuff again. I've engaged the locks. The rocks are in. Now it's time for me to go up to the garden area and get going. That pile is still there. A lot of it's gone, but a lot of it's still there. I'm going to go ahead and start moving the stuff back out of the way. And that's the tree stump I'm going to work on getting out. The challenging part is going to be the fact that there's a giant debris pile right behind it, so getting at that angle is going to be very challenging. I'm up for the challenge. Hopefully this ballast box on the back of the tractor will make a big difference for me. We're going to find out. I didn't get up all of the debris with the grapple, but I got quite a bit of the big stuff. The box blade will actually take care of most of the smaller stuff once I get that back on there. As you can see, the ground actually looks a little bit darker, maybe a little more nutrient rich. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. I guess we'll find out once we can do that soil test after we get everything else up here. The ballast box has done an amazing job at giving me extra lifting power and stability when using the grapple. It's a night and day difference. If you're going to use a front end loader to lift up anything heavy on your tractor, you need a ballast box. Got another decent sized stump that needs to come out of the ground. I was about to head down to get that stump bucket put on, but what I think I'm going to do is actually try to push some of this stuff out of the way so I have a little more working room when getting this stump out. I have the stump bucket on the tractor. As usual, things did not go as expected. I'm going to have to call in to the insurance company for the tractor and file a claim because our front end loader is bent. We noticed it when we first got the tractor after the property, but it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal, but it's just getting more and more of a problem. It is very difficult to change out front end implements because the little things that hook on to the implements are bent and they don't line up, and it makes it very difficult to attach them. Stump bucket's on. What should have been about a 2-minute process probably took me closer to 30 minutes, maybe even longer. I wasn't really paying attention. I have about 2 hours before I need to leave. Hopefully I can get this stump out, or at least get it started. And I don't know if I'm going to get to the canopy. Canopy's not a priority right now. I need to get this stump out, and I need to get the area set up for the soil delivery. It's not going to happen. I'm just going to work at it and do what I can. All I can do is try and work my hardest. Quick update, I'm about a half hour into this stump. And at the rate I'm going, I might be done within the next hour. Hopefully sooner. All right, time to put the camera down and get back to work. The hour has passed, and it's not out yet. This is definitely the biggest stump yet. It's budging a little bit when I try to move it, but there's still just a little bit too much dirt caught in the roots. So I need to continue to work my way around, and hopefully within the next half hour I can get it out, because then I really have to get going. Got a little too close to the hole and got the tractor stuck. I'm going to try to put one of these heavy stones underneath this tire right here and see if that gives me enough traction to get out. The tractor is out of the hole. The stump is not. I've got about 5 more minutes to work on this thing, and I'm not feeling very optimistic that I'll get it done in the next couple minutes. Never say never. Literally less than 5 minutes later, and I got it out. And that's why it's important to never give up. Because even when you have really bad experiences, you mess up along the way, you fall, you get hurt, get back up, get going, get the job done. There's something I forgot to bring while I was working up there in the garden area on the tractor, and that's this little thing that I'm going to use to measure how much space we have for our garden. Ashley asked me to measure before I dug up the stump just to see if we had enough space, and we were like, you know, the stump has to come up eventually anyway. Might as well take it out now while there's plenty of room to work around it. So once the garden's in, we're not gonna be able to drive over that with the tractor, and getting stumps out near the garden, it will be impossible. I'm definitely really tired today. Between jumping on and off the tractor a bunch of times, moving giant rocks into the ballast box, out of the ballast box, into the ballast box, it's exhausting. Here we are in the garden area. It looks a little rough because I just dug up that giant tree stump and got a bunch of tire tracks and dirt piles and a giant hole in the garden area. I'm gonna set the camera down because I need to figure out how to use this thing, do a quick measurement, and then walk back to the car. I'll talk to you again then after I get some measurements. I don't think Ashley's gonna be very happy with those results. The length of it's about 125 feet, and the width varied between 40 and 55 feet. So we might be able to get a couple 50-foot beds, but we're probably gonna only get 40-foot, maybe even 35-foot beds in some of the areas just because it's not big enough. I think she's only gonna get about half the beds that she wants to get. She's got a lot of plants that need to go in that ground. On the bright side, we should have enough soil on our delivery to cover that area. I don't know what to do. The really bad thing about Ashley working night shift is that she can't come up here with me very often. There are a lot of things that need to be discussed, and sometimes I have to wait several days before I can have an actual real conversation where she's not rushing to get ready for work and head out the door. We may end up with a much smaller garden than intended this year, but we have plenty of time before next season. We're really counting on this garden to provide a lot of revenue for us, but we'll just have to make it work. We don't have a choice. We have to work with what we have. And you know what? We're going to make it work. We're still going to be successful. We don't have any particular targets in mind right now because we just don't have enough information to set a realistic goal. That's kind of working in our favor right now because we keep getting disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, and this at least gives us some flexibility. At least we don't get our feelings hurt this way because we don't have time-bound goals. There are so many things that are completely out of our control, and we're at the mercy of other people, and we just have to accept that and do what we can. We're just going to keep working hard, and we're going to let you see all of our struggles and our successes along the way. Today's a great example of that. I thought there was no way I would be able to get that tree stump out, and then just when I was about to give up, the tractor falls into the hole. I was able to get it out despite my fear that I wouldn't, and I gave that tree stump another try with the 5 minutes I had, and I did it. I was completely pessimistic about it, but I didn't care. I just did it anyway and got the job done. I brought the drill to finish installing the canopy. Didn't even get started on it. The zip ties that I had securing the arms for the canopy brackets broke. Those arms hit me in the head several times. Mostly my head hit the arms as I was getting in and out of the tractor. I'm okay, no head injuries. At least not from that. I brought the drone up here hoping that I could get some really cool footage. Unfortunately, there just wasn't time. There were things that needed to get done. Well, if I don't stop talking now, I'm not gonna be able to pick up the kids from school on time, and that would be a bad thing. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you sticking through to the very end. Subscribe if you haven't already to follow us along on this crazy, difficult journey. It will be very rewarding one day in the future. I don't know if it'll be this year, next year, or 10 years from now, but I know that eventually it will pay off and we'll be living our ultimate dream life. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.